And we're live. Team Super Dad podcast, the wrap up, number 24. Good to have you here. It's Friday, not always on a Friday, but it is always the end of the week, because what better way to end the week? Well, probably the best way to end the week is having an absolute piss up somewhere. But
Hey, I'm way ahead of you.
Oh, he's changed colour. His drink has changed colour. So I've actually got a classic of British alcoholic beverages, the good old can of Carling here. But you are joining the Team Super Dad wrap up. Glenn, aka Dating Dad, and myself, Johnny Jensen, founder and creator of Team Super Dad, the community for modern dads, and the Hero Academy, where we are dads creating our best lives ever in the areas of focus, fitness, finance, family, and fun. You can just sign up to the Reveal Your Hero workshop, and the Hero Academy is kicking off its next intake in February, so get involved. But the wrap up, we don't do too much selling in the wrap up. We have a good old chit chat and banter as if we were in the pub.
That's the best place to be. And if we can't be in the pub, then this is a virtual pub, and a virtual pub where we're never going to call time on anything you're drinking.
Time, gentlemen. Our kids are never going to know that, really, are they? Good old.
Partly they had 24-hour drinking, which just means just keep on going. And if they never do that, how are they going to learn that you're meant to order 7 pints at 10 to 11 and then try desperately to both drink them and convince the barmaids that you are actually drinking? Yeah, we're nearly done.
I was going to say exactly that. I mean, especially uni days or days in London, just the good old days, pre. If BC is before Christ and AC is after Christ, then we've definitely got BC, before children. Before Corona, before children. Yeah, good. Those were the days. But yeah, totally right. 20 to 11. We'll have 16 sambucas.
Oh yeah, you got to line up the shots.
So that's 2 sambucas each. And how many pints each? Okay, another 16 pints, please. Basically, we've got 2 more drinks lined up. Two shots and 2 pints, and some kind of half an hour left to consume them. And yeah, they probably were right. It did encourage, people getting.
Well, it wasn't exactly European approach to alcohol, was it? We weren't sitting outside sipping our coffee with a shot of some clear spirit or other. No. We were absolutely tanking it down because we knew there was a deadline, and you got to meet a deadline.
Yes, good. Some structure to our carnage, to our absolute carnage. So, if for those who are new to the wrap up, it is really a celebration of our week, of all the things that we've been up to, and increasingly, that's not a lot. So we've cranked up the random chit chat, which actually, flicking through the top podcasts on Apple Podcasts recently, there's some serious, in my opinion, not that this is super high quality, taking on Radio 1 podcast.
I speak for yourself.
I know, but there is some real garbage in the Apple, top 50. So Glenn, I hope that we are, going to be zooming up those charts soon. So if you are watching, support this, right? Get over, subscribe, share this, give us a review. We're big boys. We can take it if you think this is awful.
I can't. Just only say nice things, please. Oh, sorry, my ego is fragile.
Fragile, yeah. I didn't spend 15 grand on counselling to get views on iTunes.
I did that for free.
So be sure to do that. And you can... so we do this live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. Obviously, you can watch the replay there. If you are watching replay, then just comment.
Are we live on Twitter then?
Yeah, on Periscope.
Oh, fantastic! In that case, I'm going to retweet this.
Oh yeah, totally. If you go to Team Superdad HQ.
Team Superdad HQ, is that at Team Superdad HQ?
Yes, because some bellend
Superdad HQ.
Some bellend
doesn't even. You need to hear things several times for people to remember them.
Yeah, you're like Dale Carnegie there. You're doing some brain power stuff on me there. Pay close attention to Glenn. You'll learn a lot. So I've lost my train of thought now. Twitter, Periscope.
Periscope. Someone stole your Twitter.
Oh handle. No. There's Team Super Dad on Twitter. Is some random dude in America who's got a karate club and he doesn't even use it.
Useless.
I've contacted them and asked them for it. So if anyone knows Team Superdad, who runs a karate center in California, I think it is, pop in and have a word because he's not using it, and I want to.
Well, I've just given you a follow anyway, so
Okay,
that doubles things up, and I can see on @Johnny Jensen as well. You are broadcasting live, so I am absolutely retweeting the hell out of that.
Good, go for it. Well, so yes, what we do is we just chit chat about some stuff, and actually we had a right laugh last week. We will touch on a couple of serious subjects, certainly one because I think it's important, which is what men do as well. Especially as we get into middle age, it is totally normal that in amongst taking the piss out of each other and having some random chit chat about women from the 90s that we fancied, we will also just stuff comes up, and this week there is a hot topic which does need mentioning.
A bit of a trigger warning, I think, before that one.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's we're just going to touch on domestic violence somewhere in amongst this chat as well, because if people are experiencing it, then that's important, both men and women. And if you're the one, then hopefully we can encourage you to get out before it gets too hot and get some help on that subject. But before we rattle into that, we normally do that somewhere in the middle, basically. But how's your week been, Glenn?
I tell you what, homeschooling has kicked my ass this week. It's been a fucking. I can swear now because my kids, they've literally about, what is it now? It's 20 past. 15, 20 minutes ago, they left. And so I'm at home, which is why I'm able to have a nice evening drink by myself. My God, they've been little shits. I mean, not always naughty. I had to have a go at one of them because she wasn't turning her homework in. And I said, why aren't you turning your homework in? Because I don't like it. As if that's a fucking excuse. And one of them, he didn't dial into his lesson because he was too busy watching YouTube. And then the other two, they've been wonderful. But my 7-year-old, he's great as long as you're literally focusing on nothing but him. He'll sit next to him and he'll do so much work. As soon as you take your eyes off him, he just goes haywire. And then my youngest girl, she's 10. And bless her, she is so good. She's so clever, so happy, and so enthusiastic and energetic and engaged. And then so as soon as I've got my youngest son on a lesson doing his thing, her lesson finishes. So she comes down to just tell me about it, to tell me in a happy voice all the things she's doing and sharing and show me her stories and play me the music. And it's lovely, but I've got to do some fucking work. Come on, kids, let me earn the pennies. How's your week been?
Do you know what? So obviously, both of our weeks are split, around contact. So yes, I've had a time without the kids and time with the kids, and pretty much the same. I don't know how alarmed I should be about my daughter's maths skills, because on the one hand you're going, it's 1 kilogram and it's 1,000 grams. Okay, so is 1,900 grams a little bit more than 1,000? Or closer to 2,000. You just like,
is Priti Patel her maths teacher by any chance?
I'm teaching her how to serve up, actually. Downstairs doing grams. No, but it's just I was like, you do know that 1,900 is way closer to 2,000 than it is to 1,000. I'm like really concerned. But no, they've been pretty good. And blimey, yeah, it's just about focus. It's easy to go into overwhelm because suddenly the like, how much work am I getting done? How much money am I making? How's it all going? So it's going okay. My fitness, I did a lot of running when the kids were not here this week, which I was really happy about. But because I've got this back, neck, shoulder pain problem going, and I've got the fear about doing my HIIT workouts, and so really noticed my sort of muscles just fading away like Marty McFly in Back to the Future.
Yeah, I'll say that's my excuse as well. It's got nothing to do with a total lack of effort.
If you missed last week's wrap up, go back and you can hear Glenn and I talking about what kind of fitness is important and whether Glenn's about to fall off the edge of a cliff as far as his fitness goes as he hits 40.
Spoiler alert, I am well on the way down. I'm going to be hitting the deck very soon.
But no, we're doing okay. It is the weekend. Got some beers. Got some plans for the weekend. Actually, I posted today, right, in the Team Superdad group. If you're not in the Team Superdad group, then come on over. Facebook.com groups Team Superdad.
Team
Just
Superdad on Facebook. Just search for Team Superdad. Is that all I have to do? Team
get the
Superdad.
page
It'll come up, yeah.
and you'll get, and there's the group in there as well, basically. But yeah, just saying, if you're running into the weekend, it's a classic thing for dads to do, where you're busy in life and you don't plan anything. So then guess what? Your weekend just drifts by. You don't really get anything done. But you know, going back to a point we were making, and we're going to talk about in a minute, about a conversation on Facebook this week where Fidel, another dad coach, he asked women what do they want from their men, and he asked men what do they want from women. And like, so have a plan, dads. Actually take a little bit of a lead in planning your weekend, because not only will you have more fun, but you won't seem like such a sap either. So tomorrow I've got a play date going on. We're going to play some football and feed the ducks. Obviously separate activities. Rosie's got a dance workshop. We've got some stuff we're doing with a friend to make a movie, all COVID compliant, I'll have you know. Yeah, and even down to what I'm cooking. I've been out and got the stuff, roast pork for Sunday, and
nice.
Family
with crackling.
That's a long story. The bloody oven is still not fixed, although they are now coming on Tuesday. So
how the hell are you going to do roast pork if you ain't got an oven?
I have got an oven. I'm just not sure it's going to do crackling.
Right. Okay.
It will be crackly. I just don't think it will be actual crackling. You know, like
Right,
where you can crunch it and eat it. It'll just be that sort of chewy sort of version where you wish it had gone a bit harder. Yeah.
That's what she said.
So into number one, right? This came up in that post from Fidel. Did you know a large proportion of men actually sit, but this is at home, this isn't necessarily out and about, right? A large proportion of men sit down to wee.
But can you just, a large proportion of men, for me, a large proportion of men doing that would be about 0.5% of men, because that for me is way larger a proportion of men than I would ever expect to be doing something like that. I don't understand. What are you saying, that most of the men that responded to that said yes?
I'm gonna ask Google, right? I sit down to, I guess it's going to be urinate, isn't it, or is it going to be wee? But yeah, so this is something that I do actually do. Hey, of course, Google's got an answer. There is a number of reasons why men might opt to sit down, and research suggests that guys do it more than expected. Come on, guess. We're like asking the guy
the higher and lower thing, yeah.
Cleggy in I'm a Celebrity, okay? What percentage of men sit down to wee?
10%.
No, way higher.
What? Oh, you are shitting me. What?
No,
20%?
way higher. No, higher.
Seriously?
On, yeah. 42% of men in our survey said they sat down to wee. I goes here, presumably due to spousal pressure. No.
What?
Not to, so I do at night.
Why? Why? I don't understand.
Why put yourself through some kind of? It's hard enough to get it like in and not all around the place at the best of times.
The toilet's in front of you. You stand there. It's more effort for you to stop, pull your pants down, turn around, sit down, do the thing, stand up, pull your pants up, just have a wee. There's no just stand there, get it out. And have a wee.
I agree, right? In a pub or somewhere where there's a urinal or something like that. But
you don't want to sit on any pub toilet ever. My ex used to work in a pub, and the amount of times that she'd come home and she'd say that basically she had to scrape shit off of the ceiling, let alone from the walls and stuff. That pub toilets get pebble dashed constantly. You don't want to be sitting on those.
I know. I can tell you, a dear friend of mine, when we were about 16, we were at a dinner and dance, and he came back. I'm not going to mention his name, but his name is Matt. He came and got me from the table, and he goes, "You got to come and see this. It's something horrific has happened." I did not expect to see what I saw, because I'd never seen anything like that before in my life. And yeah, as he like raced in backwards to go, it had come out. It like, oh my gosh, I'd never seen anything like it. To this day, I've not seen anything like it, actually.
But the thing is, I guess back in the day, you were saying like the before times when we went down the pub, you'd go there for a full day, and if you hadn't offloaded before you got there, then at some point there's a chance you're going to need to. And so I had a friend who will remain nameless, who's called Dan, who I don't know if he's still like this, but he won't shit while he's got clothes on. So every time he needed to take a shit,
Well, you've got
he'd
to
have
make like
go in
that.
and take his fucking naked, having a shit in a pub toilet. Why? Why? How? Why?
No, any of my friends who are listening, and it's actually one of my brother's really good mates, so I'm not actually going to mention his name, but he is exactly like that. He fully gets naked, and he doesn't like doing it in public, obviously. So, but wherever he gets fully undressed to have a dump.
Oh,
I'll see if he'll come on. He's one of the funniest guys I know, actually. I'll see if he'll come on.
But the
on
thing is, in any
record.
case, whether you're naked or not, it's easier, even with just a toilet, a normal toilet, not urinal, to just stand there and have a wee. I don't see the benefit of sitting down and putting your ass on a toilet. There's no benefit unless you haven't got a penis, in which case, fair play. It's probably easier to sit down.
I just think it's an aiming thing. It just goes because it's nice and neat. Fire in, get to rest your legs. According to this article, actually, it is actually healthier for you as well.
Well, of course it is. It's probably trying to sell some sort of step for you to put your feet on, so your ass is angled differently.
Look, it says here, first line of this blog: standing up to pee is one of the greatest gifts granted to men.
Mm-hmm.
What's that movie where one of the women just walks up to the urinal and stands up and has a slash? It's got to be.
I don't know, but there's plenty of those videos on Pornhub.
I've not actually searched up that category, to be fair, actually.
Allegedly.
Leads nicely onto actually hot in the 90s.
What, women standing up to pee leads up to the 90s?
I just don't know, because you get some lookalikes, don't you? Or you get those lookalike videos.
Oh, the Paris Hilton sort of lookalikes.
Yeah. Came up on the bottom of the football blog post this week. It's like they're like from Tabala and like these clickbait things, right? So it says Rachel Stevens at 40. The lead singer of S Club 7.
I know her very well. Not just the one. Well, I say I don't know her, sadly, because I've not yet met and wooed her, but because I would love to woo. She is stunningly beautiful.
Yes.
Stunningly beautiful. And was back when she did what's it called? Strictly Come Dancing. Great dancer as well. Even if she has got web feet.
She's very short as well, apparently. I think I've got a height limit on Future.
Have you got a bracket that they're the only women that you'll choose to woo?
Yeah, below 5'4" is out.
Really?
Mm.
No, I think below 5 foot, yes, but once they're in heels, they're a few inches higher and taller as well. So when you're going out, there's less of a differential, and then when you're not going out,
Oh yeah, it's good. She's got a good access point there. But no, I think you're just saying that so you can keep Rachel Stevens in
happily. You can have all the Amazonians.
No, I did have an awesome girlfriend when I was at uni. We were dating for about 3 years, and actually one of the best women I've ever known. But she was a bit short. So just on reflection, in terms of women. Perfect women, categories, things I want and don't want in a future relationship. Yeah, taller than 5'4". Just putting it out there. Sorry, and I wouldn't say no right now. Actually, given the 5-year window that it's been.
Whereas for me, it's all about the personality. Honest.
Good. So Rachel Stevens, huh?
Yeah,
good singer, lovely girl,
100%.
Intelligent.
If anyone's got a number, then I'm more than happy to have.
She's happily married.
Damn it.
And still hot. So it turns out. So I thought, given that she was in S Club 7, I thought she was way younger. But no, she's just 40 last year.
Rachel I'm googling her. Whoa, yeah. I would definitely be intimidated to talk to her.
She's she was like, well, what are they called? What were the lads mags called?
FHM, Loaded, that sort of thing.
FHM, yeah. Top totty for. Don't you miss the 90s? I mean, I'm all for equality. I think it probably is wrong that there's a naked, boobs out.
No, it's all about equality. If there's an equal amount of stuff going on that men are kind of laying about in bikinis, that's fine, isn't it?
Yeah.
A friend actually talking about women from the 90s. A friend actually did try and set me up with Kelly Brook. Not realizing that actually Kelly again is in a happily married I don't know about married, but certainly in a long-term relationship. What is it with these attractive, successful, rich, intelligent, funny, attractive women, and them keep finding men before they've met me? What the What the fuck is going on?
I know. I think you need to. It's possibly the circles you move in, Glenn. You need to. I don't know. Also, I couldn't tell you the hot, famous, semi-famous women that are out there these days. But back in the 90s, I could tell you them all. So for all the negatives of lads mags and stuff like that, there's it.
Well, that's because. But the thing is, you're talking about age differences and so on. Well, I don't know if you were, but kind of your brackets of height. I've got the same thing for age. I'm attracted to women, roughly speaking. There are exceptions either way, but roughly speaking, that I could have gone to school with. So sort of 6-7 years younger than me, no more than 6-7 years older than me. That kind of window. The sort of women who know that He-Man, and Skeletor is the bad guy from He-Man, not from the money supermarket adverts. I want cultural references. And so when I was in my 20s, then FHM was full of women in their late teens to late 20s. And so that was our bracket. Whereas now I'm not looking at someone who's 20 years old, 21 years old. For me, that's weird because they could have gone to school with my daughter.
With your kids, yeah, totally. Yeah.
That's just out of bounds for me. So yeah, I couldn't tell you who the younger women are. And unfortunately, very rarely does a beautiful older woman appear from nowhere out of this on the scene.
Oh yeah, walk up and see like, hi, yeah, you're true. Okay, good. That's why I don't know. Okay, good. Right. So now not only have I swerved being a pedo, but but I can also let my conscience be at peace.
I will, however, now be side researching hot women from the 90s. Just because I can.
Well, you know, we can bring this back, right? We can bring back some features. Sorry about my kids sounding like they're killing something downstairs, but they are on Fortnite. And I'm having told them 3 times to be quiet. I'm just going to forget about it now because we're here doing this. So
who was your celebrity crush in the 90s? Because I know mine. I think my coming of age was Jet from the Gladiators.
What are you doing?
I'm on a podcast.
Are you?
I told you downstairs about 20 minutes ago. I'm on the podcast.
Hello, Johnny's kid.
So naff. So come and say hello and then naff off. What do you mean? How many have I had? She's saying like, how many beers have I had? Like there's like a
hello.
Good.
You're live to the nation.
Yeah.
Oh hi.
Hiya.
I just fell on the stairs.
Okay, so tell your brother to be a bit more quiet as well. Shut the door.
I'm really hungry.
Okay. As you can smell, dinner's gonna be ready as soon as this podcast's done. That's why I made it ready. Shut the door. So my crush. Well,
I had Jet from the Gladiators. Did you have Wolf from the Gladiators?
No, not Wolf. Jet. No, totally Jet. That came up actually this week. I said that Jet was one of my crushes. She's been on TV a lot recently. I'm going to shut the door.
Well, Diane Udell. Yeah, Diane Udell. She's one of those frustrating women who not only is stunningly beautiful, a talented athlete, but also has the brains attached as well. So again, she can just pick and choose whoever she wants, and I'm sure she has. I need to find these women desperately.
Yeah, well, you got to go to like it's like if you want to date a runner. That was
but that requires me to run.
People listening to the podcast, that wasn't Glenn's like creaky bones or squeaky arse. That was a bottle of what is that? A bottle of whiskey?
This is some Woodford Reserve bottle number 2788. It's quite nice actually. I do recommend it.
2788. The previous 277 bottles are kicking about under Glenn's desk.
I use them for insulation.
No, so yeah, Jet was up there. Obviously, what's her name from Baywatch? Everybody had it.
Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
Or Carmen Electra. I always was more Carmen than Pam, but don't get me wrong.
No.
I'd be happy to meet and discuss things with either of them.
Yeah, but totally getting out of the sort of that level. What's Claudia Schiffer? I always thought she was absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And what's her name? Cameron Diaz.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't realize
me as a lot of fun as well.
When she made her debut in The Mask, she was really young. She was about 20, 21 years old or something like that.
Isla Fisher, actually married to Sacha Baron Cohen now.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Oh, well, I mean, I could sit here like sharing the names of beautiful women who are far more successful than I will ever be. But he's not going to make me happy.
We will. for all those fans of the wrap up, we will have a hot from the 90s feature from now on, which will basically be where Glenn and I swoon over a selected hottie from the 90s and find out what she's up to now. Because, by the way, not everybody ages that well, and no disrespect to women or men, because we've all got to age, right? So this is a bit shallow that we do this, but there are some people who are not looking quite so good. Top Gun lady. If
Kelly.
you compare, Kelly McGuinness. Kelly McGillis. If you compare how Tom Cranks.
How many Carlings have you had?
Half of the Crankies. No, Tom Hanks. No,
not Tom Hanks.
Tom Cruise. How can Kelly McGillis have aged like she should have, and Tom Cruise basically hasn't aged? Or is that just
because he sacrifices people and bathes in their blood? That's all there is. Have you seen? Talking about Tom Cruise, have you ever seen the thing? And I recommend everybody who's listening to this to do this. Google Tom Cruise tooth. So Tom Cruise center tooth, and once you've seen it, you'll never unsee it. Essentially, Tom Cruise's teeth are shifted over, and he's got one tooth in the middle of his mouth. Like in the center line of his mouth, in the symmetry line is a single tooth, and his teeth are all off center. And as soon as you notice it, every time he smiles, all you can see is his middle tooth. Weird.
Oh, I did not know.
Weird.
That.
And the weirdest thing is that's not the weirdest thing about him. Obviously.
No. How does he stay so young? Absolutely, unbelievable.
I think basically I'm his Dorian Gray. So he refused. No, actually not his Dorian Gray. I'm Paul Rudd's Dorian Gray, because Paul Rudd, even more so than Tom Cruise, doesn't age. So I'm taking on all the aging for Paul Rudd. I'm taking on that pain and suffering and facial decrepitation so that Paul Rudd doesn't have to. And you know what, world? You're welcome.
What are you saying then? You're saying you're getting wrinkly and old and he's not?
I'm old. Yeah, massively. I mean, look at this face. This face.
Glenn's 30. Not 30, you're 40.
40 years old, and I look, I'm about 100, whereas Paul Rudd looks younger than my children.
So what is Paul Rudd? Like a movie star, isn't he?
What do you mean, who is Paul Rudd? Paul Rudd
I don't know who Paul Rudd is.
He's one of the most legendary actors out there. He was Ant-Man.
Okay.
He's an incredible actor, but also just a ridiculously nice guy. He's the perfect example of an 8, like attractiveness 8, but his personality takes him up to a 10. I call it the Paul Rudd effect. You know, when personality just elevates someone so that, you know what, they don't look bad, but they're so funny and nice and just a wonderful, perfect human being that
so doesn't sit down to wee.
Totally attractive. Oh, no, he doesn't sit down to wee. I'm pretty sure. You know what? Yeah, no, he doesn't. He absolutely doesn't.
What about if he's under pressure from his spouse?
He never misses. He doesn't need to. He never misses. This is Paul Rudd.
Oh, okay. It's just like a laser straight in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, listen, on the subject of spousal pressure, right? We're going to just dip into this slightly heavier subject. My sister works for the police. She's a civilian in the police, and she tells me that domestic violence is absolutely through the roof, which is, you know, we all have been there in terms of arguments and anger, like shouting at our kids, having a row with our wife. I mean, I wouldn't be divorced if things had gone smoothly, but you know, I'm not a counsellor in that regard. I'm not a domestic violence expert. I don't have much I can really contribute to people who are going through that. But my encouragement is that there is support and help out there. And this goes for any women listening who might be experiencing it, and also men who might be experiencing it as well. And that's not to say one is better or worse than the other, but it's just to say it happens to both sexes. You mentioned something that people can say in a chemist. Glenn?
Yeah, there's two things, and I'm a little bit frustrated that they've not just made this the same name. Essentially, the idea is you can go into a chemist and say, can I pick up a prescription for Annie? Or can I ask you, say, can I see Annie, please? And essentially it's a trigger, it's an alert that the pharmacists are aware of and are familiar with. So if anyone asks for Annie, essentially they're saying something isn't right in my home life and I need support, I need help, I need someone to do something with me, and they can start taking action on that. Now, the reason I'm frustrated is because since about 2016, there's been a similar thing in pubs and bars and clubs where essentially you ask for Angela And this is kind of become more common in pubs, where if you say, I need to get a drink for Angela, or can I speak to one of your barmaids called Angela? Again, the thing is, if you're worried about, you're on a date, for example, and the date is acting up, or you're worried that they might have drugged you, or you're just feeling unsafe, or for whatever reason, pubs are able to do that. So I'm frustrated they haven't used the same name, and it sounds stupid. But when you're in a panic, you don't want to be thinking, should I be asking for Annie or Angela? But
Annie, Alfred, like someone called A, help me.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry about pubs at the moment. But if anybody is experiencing this sort of thing, and you can find any and there's always you can find an excuse to go to a pharmacy for headache pills or contraception or whatever, go in there and ask for Annie, and you should get access to a bit of support that might just be the thing that supports you out of a horrific situation. And I can understand why these situations are arising. Let's be honest, it's lockdown. We normally have a situation where people can leave the house, they can go to work, they can go to sports, they can get their frustrations out in a million different ways. And now we're all being clammed up and crammed into the same four walls 24 hours a day. No excuse, no escape for work, no escape from financial pressures, which are mounting up with people being furloughed and losing their jobs. The pressure is massively increasing at a time when the access to support is decreasing. So I can understand, even though in not for even a fraction of a millisecond does it excuse domestic violence, you can understand why it's rising. And I just hope that people can start getting the support and help that they need.
Yeah, totally. And you just alluded there to getting out. Like if it doesn't have to end up at domestic violence levels, if you're stressed out, frustrated with each other, then flipping heck, put your coat on and grab your hat and just go for a walk for half an hour and literally just chill out. And when you get back indoors, what if any tendency to sort of pick that subject back up, just be like, right, hopefully you say something like, I love you, we're not going to do this, let's chat in the morning. And if you can hug it out, then brilliant. If you sleep on the couch, that's fine. And also I did a quick Google search earlier for this, and there's so many different helplines on the Met Police website. On their page, there's lines for men, for women, for LGBT, basically.
One thing to say, if you are searching for these things and you're in any way concerned, use incognito mode. Some people are worried that they might be that their partner might see them searching for help and so on. Every Chrome I know has, and I'm pretty sure that all of the kind of mobile ones do, there'll be some sort of incognito mode. Effectively, it doesn't record your searches, so nobody will know that you've done it. Close down the tab afterwards, but nobody will know you've been searching for that sort of information. So you don't have to worry about that, and you can get that access, and it's free. And there are people out there who are willing to help. And I know, Johnny, I'm sure your DMs are open. Just I know mine are. I'm not an expert, and I can only point people in the right direction. But there are people out there who can help you.
Yeah, totally. And that's a really valid point as well. Team Super Dad group, the other dads groups, I'm parts of single parent groups. And people ask these questions all the time. So I think to finish on this subject is just don't suffer alone. Just life's too short. Just reach out and get the help you need.
And not just, and this sounds ridiculous, but not just if you're the victim. If you're someone who that things are getting on top of you and you're feeling this way and you've done things, then make a difference, make a change, speak to someone, get some help, because you'll benefit from that as much as anybody else.
Yeah, totally. So good. Well, I like to do that. And it's not always that a subject is obviously on my mind, but that one came up mainly because my sister mentioned it, basically. So anyway, back to the fun stuff.
This is a real one show.
One show.
Issue, isn't it?
One show. We've talked about standing up to we.
But what we have talked about is the wonderful, glorious, legendary actor that is Paul Rudd. And I don't know if you realise this, but you mentioned something earlier about Ghostbusters, the new trailer. Guess who the star of that is?
Shut up.
It's Paul Rudd. I'm telling you. The man
knows what's going on. We're so slick we don't even realise it. So I said to Glenn earlier, have you seen, because it turns out, right, Glenn and I, not only do we live quite close to each other, we both support the same football team. It's like we're literally going to find out our mums were cousins or something like that sometime down the line. But interesting sort of movie interest. So I said to him, have you seen the Ghostbusters, the like sequel, but don't worry, it's not part of the reboot franchise. It's part of the
Which
original
was
franchise.
shit. I'm sorry, I'm happy to say this, and it's got fuck all to do with the fact that it had women in it. It was shit. It was absolutely. It was offensively bad. The Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters movie, is one of the greatest, one of the pinnacles of 80s cinema. Yeah, the sequel was a bit shit, but it wasn't terrible. Whereas that piece of garbage, When I Rule the World, that's going to be one of the movies that I insist is erased from humanity's record. Every copy of that is going to get fucking burned.
What do they call it? They call it culture cleansing or something,
Mm-hmm.
don't they?
I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
Change culture.
Yeah.
They're gonna erase the 2 seconds that Donald Trump was in Home Alone.
Yeah, I'm okay with that as well.
They're going to get like Mr. Blobby or someone's going to be superimposed on that situation.
They should run a crowdfunding competition. You know, we can win a place, and every penny, every penny of every entry gets donated to Planned Parenthood.
Perfect. So, Ghostbusters, right? It's for anyone who's not a 90s movies fan or whatever, but Ghostbusters, the new one coming out, the Harold Ramis, who was actually one of the Ghostbusters in the original one and directed it, his son is the writer and director of this sequel, and it looks absolutely epic. But when, like, do you remember when sequels are garbage?
Most of them are. I mean, the fact that we can say there are there's Terminator, Aliens, there's maybe Empire from Star Wars. But other than, there are hardly any ones where the sequel is at least as good, if not better.
I know one good one. Breakdance 2, Electric Boogaloo.
So no, because that implies okay, the first one was good, and then the second one's better. Let's put that sort of differentiator in there.
Oh, maybe.
But yes, sequels are shit, generally speaking, because
they used to be.
Yeah. But these days, everyone wants a franchise. Everyone wants a Marvel MCU or a Star Wars where you can just build it out into a mega franchise. And so they're actually investing money in decent sequels.
Totally. So Top Gun 2, going to be good or going to be bad?
Top Gun 2 is going to be crap.
I fear that as well. It just didn't need a sequel. That's what I fear.
Some movies are perfect. There are so many movies out there where you're looking at, you're thinking, you don't need to do any more. You don't need to reboot it. You don't need to have a sequel. Just leave it as this little section of cinematic history, which is just perfect.
Porkies.
Hey.
Porkies.
Didn't Porkies have a load more?
I think they did. They did loads more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weekend at Bernie's did not have a number 2. That's good. Also, Weekend at Bernie's did not age at all well. I watched that the other week, thinking it was going to be hilarious, and it wasn't. But there was moments.
It is horrible when you go back to a movie that you've not seen in a long time, and you're thinking this is going to be great, it's going to be brilliant, and then it's just a letdown. It's like going back to an ex, and it's just the magic has gone.
The walk of shame. The walk of shame. So, just like, by the way, I'm working on, it's kind of the wrap up basically to end this. This is what I have been doing this week, is I'm working on a new Team Superdad theme tune, sing the theme tune, play the theme tune,
sing the theme tune.
But yeah, a friend of mine, Nigel Mannington, epic sound engineering guy. Obviously their world is a little bit shut down right now. So he's helping me with the new one. So I'm working on it. The one I've got, I did quite quickly. So I would love to know from people, right? If you think it's crap, let me know. But it was done quite quickly, and I probably do accept that. It's Team Super Dad, real dad, living their best life ever. You are not alone. So bits of that will stay, but I'm going to ditch the American voice basically. But I feel like I want to do like a bit of a mashup. Do you remember the Cold Cut remix of Paid in Full?
No, I don't. I'm going to have to Google that.
No, so it kind of. Are we going to get in trouble from the so-and-so gods if we play a song? We might do.
I think less than 30 seconds is fine, especially if this is a non-for-profit organisation at the moment. Okay,
non-for-profit organisation. It is by virtue of total income. Oh, there's Ted McGrath. He's going to go. I got a screen share to bring it in, I think. Here we go. Skip ads. Right. Oh, so the bit that I want to do basically it's like a mashup at the beginning. So I want the StreamYard's theme tune to be a bit of a mashup, right? And we're going to get lots of sound clips from movies that refer to dads and stuff. So I think this will now come in, okay? Can you hear that?
I can hear it in the background through your microphone.
It's not coming through. No, okay.
But I can hear it enough that I remember what it is. And yes, that is a great intro.
And so basically, it's grabbing sounds from different movies and different clips and things like that. Pump up the volume, dance. Thinking of a master plan. Top quality song. Apparently, the Cold Cut Boys got paid 750 quid each for doing that remix. The song made an absolute fortune, but it all went back to Eric B and Rakim in royalties.
Bastards. Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, so basically, I'm looking to include moments, and like how many we're going to get here. It all depends on how many people listen to the Team Super Dad podcast for 41 minutes.
Millions and millions of people.
We're going to be inundated with suggestions here. But if there's clips from movies, from songs, from TV shows that are kind of dad related, or even just funny, you know, like I don't know, was Different Strokes. What are you talking about, Wilson? Or what are you talking about, Willis?
Wilson? Who the fuck is Wilson? Was that the extra version of Dennis the Menace?
I don't know. I read the comic, didn't see the TV show. But yeah, so if you've got an idea of a kind of a dad reference or something that you think is ultimately Glenn and I like style, sound clip or a grab from a movie or a TV show, then let us know and we'll see what we can do to drop that into the new intro that's coming down the line.
Just to check, as we're talking about, in order to be a dad, do you have to be allowing the words motherfucker? Because I mean, logically, at some point,
I can give the E to explicit to certain episodes where there's been a lot of swearing. I can do that, but I think if I put it in the intro music, it could be tricky.
Okay. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. We can have what did they used to do on Hollyoaks, like after dark or after late night Hollyoaks or something?
Yeah. Yes. Raunchy.
Yeah. So basically, you have two versions of it.
Yeah. So watch this space. We got a new theme tune. Sing the theme tune, dance the theme tune. It's coming down the line, and I'm looking forward to dropping that into our new future episodes.
Okay, you did go a little bit. What was the name of the white DJ who used to do the Pimp My Ride UK?
Yes, his name is totally there, but my early stage dementia.
I'm gonna have to look it up now. Pimp My Ride UK was done with hosted by Tim Westwood. Yeah, you went a tiny bit of Tim Westwood in there.
Now there's a guy who you won't believe how old he is.
How old is he?
It's like in his 60s or something. Blimey. Well,
Jesus, he was born in 1957.
There you go.
He's older than my parents. He's 63 years old.
And he was on Radio 1 until only about 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh my goodness. I mean, some people age and look young, the Paul Rudd effect, whereas he hasn't aged, but I don't think he's ever quite looked any different to how he looks now.
Yeah, but he's like 63, so what do you expect?
I mean, yeah, but that wasn't so good when you were 20.
He was 40, so.
That's incredible. That's blown my mind, that has.
Ah, what a way to end. Good. If we can end. It's always good to end with your mind blown in any situation, whether it's leaving the pub at 11 old school or on a date for the first time or ending the wrap up podcast for another week.
Yeah, it's been a good week, but this week is going to be a hell of a lot easier. So hopefully by this time next week there'll be a slightly more refreshed and probably a slightly more drunk version of me to wrap up for next Friday.
Nice one. Really good to see you, Glenn.
As always, great to see you. Great to see you.
Likewise. You can follow Glenn on Twitter at A Dating Dad. And as far as Team Superdad goes, you can find us everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or just head on over to teamsuperdad.com. And if you click start here, it will take you through a whole process of subscribing to the podcast, get info about the Hero Academy, and just weave you into all things Team Superdad. So as my kids shouting gets louder and louder, I will say goodbye and see you next week. Team Superdad out. Bye.